It's a universal truth that we all want to be loved and cared for. But sometimes, when we receive love, we feel insecure. Why does this happen? What does it mean for our sexuality? And how does something seemingly unrelated like schadenfreude come into play? Today, we'll dive into the psychological reasons behind these feelings. Let's begin.
Hello and welcome to Consequently, a channel for intelligent and curious people like you. Before we proceed, let me tell you one thing. If you have not subscribed yet, please subscribe. It means a lot to me. And if you have already subscribed, tons of thanks for your support.
To start with, let's try to understand the nature of insecurity while being loved. What does that mean? Feeling insecure while being loved can seem paradoxical. After all, love is supposed to make us feel safe, cherished, and valued, right? Yet, many of us experience anxiety, doubt, or discomfort when we are showered with affection. So why does this happen? Of course, one reason is tied to our attachment style, a psychological concept first introduced by John Bowlby. Bowlby suggested that early childhood experiences shape how we form emotional connections as adults. If someone had inconsistent love or care as a child, they might develop an anxious attachment style. This can lead to constant worries about the reliability of affection, even when the love is genuine. As an outcome, these individuals may feel unworthy of love or fear being abandoned, even when they're being cared for. This insecurity isn't about the other person's love, but about their own self-worth and fear of vulnerability. It's called imposter syndrome. Why? Because it's a belief that we don't deserve the love we receive. But there's more. Psychological studies, like those from Hazan and Shaver in 1987, showed that insecurity can stem from low self-esteem. When we don't feel good about ourselves, we question whether someone's love is real, or if they'll one day realize our flaws. Not only that, insecurity also leads to avoidance behaviors, where we might push away love to protect ourselves from potential heartbreak. Consequently, our sense of insecurity affects our sexuality. Let's try to understand why that happens. Firstly, it happens for many reasons. When we feel insecure, our ability to connect physically with a partner can become strained. Secondly, intimacy involves trust, and if we don't trust ourselves or our partner's feelings, it becomes hard to feel truly vulnerable. Psychologist Diane S. Tice in 2001 found that feelings of self-doubt can lead to sexual anxiety. If we believe we're not good enough, this can manifest as performance anxiety or an inability to relax and enjoy intimacy. For some, it might even lead to avoidance of sex altogether, as they fear it will expose their vulnerabilities. Moreover, attachment theory extends into how we handle sexual intimacy. Anxiously attached individuals may seek constant reassurance from their partner. Avoidantly attached individuals, on the other hand, might struggle with intimacy altogether, distancing themselves physically to avoid the emotional risks. Interestingly, research by Deborah L. M. Abe Simon suggests that insecurity in love can influence sexual satisfaction. When we feel insecure, we might overthink sexual encounters, leading to performance issues or an inability to fully engage in the experience. This results in a disconnect, both emotionally and sexually. Here comes a mixture of feelings where we derive pleasure from others' misfortune. Therefore, understanding schadenfreude is also important. Certainly, it might seem unrelated at first. It's called schadenfreude. It's the feeling of pleasure we get from others' misfortunes. But how does this tie into love and sexuality? In fact, I have made another exclusive video on that topic. SSO, please take a look at that also if you want to know in more detail. No doubt, schadenfreude has long puzzled psychologists. It's rooted in a mix of emotions, including envy, relief, and sometimes superiority. But could it have a deeper connection to our own insecurities and sexuality? Let's explore. One psychological explanation, proposed by researchers like Tesser et al., 1990, is that schadenfreude can arise when we feel threatened by someone else's success or happiness. If we feel insecure in our relationships or self-worth, seeing someone else fail can temporarily make us feel better about ourselves. This could happen in love or even sexuality, where we feel jealous or anxious about another's romantic or sexual success. It happens quite often, and sometimes we cannot control this emotion. Why? It happens because the sense of relief comes from a belief that we're not as bad off as the other person, and for a brief moment we feel superior. This reaction is often unconscious, and it can be linked to our own self-esteem issues. Subsequently, we might wonder how schadenfreude relates to our sexuality. So let's bring it back to sexuality. Sometimes, schadenfreude can be triggered in romantic and sexual contexts. For example, when someone we know gets attention or admiration from a potential partner, we may feel jealous. This jealousy can trigger feelings of inadequacy, making us feel insecure about our own relationship or sexual appeal. Jealousy, when coupled with sexual insecurity, can amplify our desire to see someone else's failure or misfortune. It might feel like a temporary fix to our anxiety, but ultimately, it just reinforces the cycle of insecurity. Researchers like Buss, 2000, have shown that jealousy has evolutionary roots. We experience these emotions because, on a primal level, we fear losing a mate or being rejected. As a result, this fear can be particularly strong in sexual and romantic relationships, which are highly linked to our sense of self-worth. So, to sum up, insecurity in love often arises from attachment patterns and low self-esteem. These feelings can interfere with our ability to fully engage in intimacy, both emotionally and sexually. At the same time, schadenfreude, the feeling of pleasure from others' misfortunes, can also stem from our own insecurities, particularly in competitive or jealous situations. Understanding these complex emotions can help us address the root causes of insecurity in our relationships and sexuality. It's important to nurture self-love, improve communication with our partners, and recognize when our feelings are driven by deeper fears and anxieties. Thank you for joining us on this journey. Let's continue this conversation in the comments below. If you like the video, please hit the bell icon to get notified, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more insights. Keep watching Wooden Slate. See you in the next video. Till then, goodbye, take care, and stay safe.